I know a spot. No, seriously, look at this little slice of heaven that I have the privilege to know of in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Māori settled in this area for hundreds of years before Pākehā did, and one of the names that was used for this area was Taiotea, which translates to clear environment. So, sometimes, I come here and make the most of this Taiotea. However, I'm not the only one. Others also come here too. And since we're all a bunch of tidy Kiwis who uphold the brand 100% pure New Zealand by keeping our environment clean and green, everyone who comes here takes their rubbish away with them. Yeah, right. Maybe some do, but not everyone does, because the proof is in the Sara Lee deep dish double chocolate pudding packaging that was left behind. If you grew up here, putting rubbish in the bin was ingrained in you as a child. Likewise, signs are posted up to remind us to pick up after ourselves, or our furry friends. If you're thinking, well, Christina, we are much better than other countries when it comes to littering, you might be wrong. Believe it or not, the United States produces 2.68 kgs of rubbish per person per day, whereas New Zealanders produce 3.68 kgs of rubbish per person per day. That means that a New Zealander produces 1 kilogram more rubbish per day than an American. And if you thought that was bad, the National Litter Audit 2022 revealed that in Aotearoa, New Zealand, plastic litter has gone up 72%, even though single-use plastic bags were banned in July 2019. And paper or cardboard litter has gone up 7 times in 3 years. But litter does not only affect our environment, it also affects our wildlife too. Did you know that research found that the risk of plastic rubbish to seabirds is worse in the seas around Aotearoa, New Zealand than anywhere else in the world? It should then come as no surprise that co-founder of Sustainable Coastlines, Camden Howard, believes Aotearoa, New Zealand is one of the worst consumers of waste in the world. So what is the solution? Let's compare our approaches to litterbugs and how Singapore approaches the issue. In Aotearoa, New Zealand, the minimum fine an individual can receive is $100 for littering less than 1 litre, and for littering that is hazardous, offensive, or more than 120 litres, the maximum fine is $5,000. However, fines are hardly given out, whereas in Singapore, the minimum fine an individual can receive is $300 for littering small items like cigarette butts, and for littering large items like drink cups, an individual goes to court, pays a fine up to $1,000, completes between 3 to 12 hours of corrective work order, which is the equivalent of community services, and cleans up public spaces. These are readily given out, which is why the public complies with the strict law. They know they are monitored by officers, one another, and themselves. So, how can we monitor ourselves in Aotearoa, New Zealand? Well, we can put our litter away, pick it up when we see it, and be conscious about what we're consuming and throwing away. Throwaway culture is consumerism's cousin. We are consuming too much because we are producing too many single-use or short-term items. So how do we break this non-recyclable cycle? The answer might be parakore. Parakore translates to be pure, which, ironically, is the exact message 100% pure New Zealand portrays. Likewise, parakore also translates to zero waste, which happens to be the name of a not-for-profit organisation working, educating and advocating from a Māori worldview towards it. Since 2009, when the program started, parakore has gotten rid of 571 tonnes of waste from landfills, which is a reduction of 67%. Likewise, on Waitangi Day, parakore collaborated with others to help divert 81.5% of waste generated by thousands of people and about 120 stallholders from landfill. Kaihautu Matua General Manager of Parakore, Jackie Forbes, explains that kaitiakitanga guardianship is a way of respecting and caring for Papatūānuku, Earth Mother, which is important if we want to live and thrive in a world of abundance without waste, as we did many generations ago. One of the tauanga treasured possessions of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, the Treaty of Waitangi, is kaitiakitanga of Papatūānuku. So, this means that every New Zealander is obligated under Te Tiriti o Waitangi for their kaitiakitanga of Papatūānuku. My journey for reducing waste began when I became a university student. As I learnt more about climate change and Aotearoa New Zealand's obligations under Te Tiriti o Waitangi, I started making small steps towards changes I wanted to see. My privilege and the knowledge I hold about these issues and knowing the spot led me to no choice other than to create a sign to remind others who come here to think before they trash.